Welcome. This is Delia Quigley. You're listening to Building Healthy Bodies here on homegrownradionj.com. Beautiful Thursday, summer day. And it was my great pleasure to have a special guest. Guests, plural, I'm sure. And you'll find out what I mean by that as I introduce Rosemary DiTrolio, who is a Reiki master and teacher. But even more interesting, she is an angel communicator. She's also a full-time teacher, educator, member of the New Jersey Educational Association. And, well, she's got a lot going on. She has a lot going on. So please, this cannot be dismissed with a mere flick of the wrist. There's some very interesting, and we're finding even, some science-based evidence that angels do exist. And Rosemary's been receiving angel messages for the past 10 years. She owns and operates her own business called Hands of Light by Rosemary, located in Hope, New Jersey. And she teaches this skill to others. And a lot of what she's written here in her bio, I'm going to use for her to explain better that way. And let's see, I'm going to see which microphone she's on to bring her up. Good morning, Rosemary.
Good morning, Delia. How are you?
I'm doing very well today. Thank you very much for asking. And all right, so you teach others.
Yes, I do.
How to hear their angels.
Yes.
Because a lot of people out there, they think, well, I go to her to get an angel reading, which means that you communicate directly with their angels?
Yes, I can do that.
All right, so you communicate with an individual's angels, and then in turn, you're able to teach them how to communicate. So when you say communicate, what does that mean? Does it mean just to be able to listen?
It's really in everybody's ability to do so, because we all have a piece of soul within us, and we have a natural connection with God that we've forgotten about. So it's really just reminding people that it is there, and if they're open to it and they try out this technique that I've learned, it can help them also to connect with their angels.
All right, so who are angels?
Angels are pieces of God that are created at the time of creation. They were never human. They reside as helpers. So when people pray, they pray to God, but angels are there to help us, to guide us, to kind of be present along our earth journey.
All right, so artists over the centuries have rendered angels to be these celestial beings in flowing gauns and huge wings. And so, what is that based on? And is that, have you ever seen an angel? Has anybody really seen an angel looking like that? Really, like that?
Well, no, not just like that. I've seen them as spots of light, because purely they are energy beings. They can manifest in any way that they won't scare you, and they really don't need to show us that they're present other than being around us. Sometimes we feel them, we just are divinely guided and don't even realize sometimes. But I have seen them in different forms. I've seen them look like human form, just standing there, and I've seen them manifest as spots of light. And many times I just simply feel them, which is mostly how I would know that they're present.
So would you say then that Tinkerbell in Peter Pan was an angel?
I have no idea. I think Tinkerbell is a cute little fairy, and from what I've heard from some people that I know, they do see them and believe in them. I don't know. I just think maybe they're miniature little angels that protect things. I don't know.
Well, there was a time when, in the history of human beings, where there's no way you could speak like this about points of light and seeing beings. You would have been burned immediately at the stake.
Absolutely. And I think the time has come when it's really the message of the angels and God that they're really here to tell us that we can communicate with God directly. That's something else that we've lost, because when I pray to God, and I do ask for God to send angels to intervene as necessary and to kind of be there to help me along my journey. And that's really the purpose of it, not to give up our free will for anything or anyone, but to help us with making the correct decisions in our life and just sort of guide us.
So then I'm clear then, in communicating with the angels, really what you're doing is you're speaking to God and the angels communicating the message back to you?
Yes, angels are messengers, so they're communicating their message from God to us, and they're really messengers from God. So when you're praying and asking for intervention, I'll say my prayer, and then I'll ask that God sends angels to me, and then I ask my angels if they have anything they want to communicate with me.
All right. So as children, we learned we all have a guardian angel.
Yes.
All right. And then we also know the hierarchy of angels, which is a really fabulous story to my way of thinking, which was Saint Michael. Lucifer, actually, he was the man.
Right.
Right. And he was God's favorite.
Right.
And he fell from grace because he thought he was too cool.
That's right.
Right. And so Michael had to drive him out of heaven.
That's right.
Right. And they sent them here.
Yes.
Really, basically, they sent him here. So in actuality, we are the offspring of fallen angels.
That's what I've heard. And a lot of the Edgar Cayce information speaks about that. I just know that when you do communicate, or when I communicate with angels or teach other people, one of the most important things I teach them is to surround themselves with light and ask that God be present, and that the angels that come to you are from God's light, aligned with God's light. And then you're really protected, and you're in the flow of your prayer, which brings them closer to you.
Well, now, the famous angels.
Yes.
All right. Michael.
Yes.
Raphael.
Yeah. Gabriel,
who is and Raphael, who is healer. Right? And Gabriel is
yes, messenger.
The messenger. Okay. And then any other ones that?
There's millions and millions of different ones that recreate.
Right.
Okay, they're the four biggies in the Bible, as well as Uriel, which I believe is in the
That's right.
the Old Testament.
Right.
And they co-create at the time of prayer. The ones that are the ones mentioned in the Bible, I have been told that they can be many places at the same time. So therefore, hundreds and hundreds of people can be praying, and they can be in many places. Much like light could be everywhere. They don't have to be in one specific place like a human would be. So their energy is co-created and multiplied.
So how does an angel? How does it come to choose? Me to be the guardian. I mean, why would an angel choose me or choose you or choose anybody? What's the attraction?
I've been told that all souls were created at one time when God created all the souls on earth. And at that time, because he loved us, he gave us a helper. Even though this helper may be unseen, the purpose of this helper or guardian angel is simply to make sure that you complete your life path and you don't fall into demise before your life path or blueprint has been completed. So, I mean, there is a lot of free will when you bungee jump and so forth, but they're there to guide you and just really protect you from harm before you, so that way you'll be present for your life path.
Okay, so, some of this I'm just making up as I go along.
That's
here
okay.
As it comes up. But, if we go back to the story, Lucifer, the coming to earth with his minions, right? And because in all the different cultures, there is the story of the angels falling. Whether it's Mayan or Inca or Christian or everybody's got a story about the angels falling to earth or a being, right? And they were androgynous. And then part of the evolution or the punishment is even Joseph Campbell speaks a lot about this, is the separation of into male female.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So if that's the story, and God so loved, right, the world, then I could see God saying, just go watch out for him. Lucifer doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He's a knucklehead, and he's down there. He's going to start trouble. And then God's sending all these other guys down there to be the good, right? Because we always have that image of the devil on the shoulder and the good guy on the other shoulder.
But there's a choice. I mean, that's our free will. And really, it's a two-edged sword because God wishes you to choose light, which will align you to God energy. However, in our lifetimes, we choose light and darkness based on choices. And the only way that you learn is to learn and choose light each time. And God would rather be chosen through love than through fear or through any other means. Love is the highest rule in the universe, and the highest rule of God is that you learn the lesson of love. And sometimes that might mean choosing badly as far as our human evolution goes, and then saying, oh my goodness, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I should choose light instead. And then you realign yourself with the message of God. And that's really what puts you on your path, is just keeping your free will, making the choice of light rather than darkness. And it's there for us.
And we come into this life experience with both good and evil, light and
True.
dark. And that's our choice.
Yes.
It's with the capabilities is within all of us.
Yes.
All right. So our angels help guide us on that path.
Yes. And the more you pray and the more you ask for help, the more intervention they can give you. However, they cannot do your path for you. They could not walk your journey for you. And they could not choose for you. They can only be there to guide and to encourage you to make different choices.
All right. So someone would say to you, an imperialist, proof. Give me proof. I mean, why should I come to you and get an angel reading? What's the proof? How do I know that you're not just making this all up?
They shouldn't, unless they feel that they're guided to do so. And that's what I say. Faith is belief without proof. And I think some things in life and with God and angels, you just need to take things on faith. And whatever fits for your belief, maybe that's what you're ready to understand, and that's okay. I think everyone comes to a different realization. It's funny because I usually don't even tell people I do angel readings, and they find out from other people, and that's how I've gotten anyone I've gotten. I don't really even tell too many people about it. So it comes to just people sending people, and that to me is the highest regard, because they've heard what I do and they're interested, and they kind of put their foot in the water a little bit and say, okay, maybe God is there for me. Maybe my angels do want to help me. What am I not seeing?
Well, would it be appropriate for you to share some readings you've had that came to light for a person? Could you share some of that?
I can. And I won't, of course, I'm not sharing anybody's name.
Right, of course.
I've had different things. I had one woman that called me actually yesterday, and on my website I have listed something about a dog, which was my dog. And she called me up and she said, "You've helped my friend. You don't believe how much you've helped my friend." I said, "How did I help your friend?" She said, "Well, she went to your website and she was very upset because she didn't know what happened to her dog after it died. And from reading your angel reading, she realized that the dog was loved and its soul is on the other side as well. And so you've gave her peace." So that was one small thing. I had a person that was putting up a building and asked for an angel reading. And one of the things that I was told is that there's a Native American Indian walking around on the ground that needs to be cleared out. And it doesn't need to be cleared out as far as being a bad spirit or anything. It just needs to be told that the land is going to be purified. It's going to be blessed so that the place could be used for a healing center. And that was another bit of information which was used before the building went up. I've had people that were given information that was for their personal growth as far as something they needed to do to move forward, possibly take a certain class. I had someone take my class and realize that what they really needed to be doing was working in hospice. And they realized that because while sitting at my class, the woman right next to her was a hospice worker. And she'd heard the name of this woman in my class probably 4 or 5 times before she showed up that night at my class. And looking at her, I said to her, "Your angels are telling you you're supposed to work with people so that they can pass over." And then the other woman goes, "Oh, I do that." And she said her name, and this lady's jaw dropped. She says, "Oh, my goodness, this week I've been trying to get in touch with you. I've heard your name 4 times. I didn't know who you were." And they made a connection, and now she realized she wants to be a hospice worker.
Aha. So it takes a tremendous amount of trust on your part to accept what you're getting, because I'm sure there's been some weird things that come through, and you're like, I don't know if I should say this.
I've had to fight back my own fear and my own ego as far as worrying about what people would think. And that's probably been the hardest thing for me. And it's been the lesson the angels have taught me again and again. Just go with it. Don't worry so much. We're really just using your mouth and your brain, and you're just our messenger. So don't worry, just do it. And at times it's been very uncomfortable for me because I've gotten messages that I wasn't sure what they were about, but I still had to write them down for the person. So I just have to really completely get out of my own way and say, okay, this is complete faith and just have to do it. Wow.
The complete faith, reminds me of my father, who was a very devout man, and he was also a military soldier, commander, and he'd been through, I guess, 3 wars, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. And yet he had this just unshakable faith, And I said, "Dad, how can, after all you've been through and all you've seen, how can you, continue with your devout Catholicism?" And he's like, "It's faith.
It is.
You do not question. You have faith."
That's my father as well.
There you go.
My father's going through health issues, and he has such a strong faith in God and in prayer, and he's just amazing. So I understand.
You understand what I'm talking about.
Yes.
All right, so I'm speaking with Rosemary DiTrolio, and Reiki Master and Angel Communicator here on Building Healthy Bodies. I have posted her information on the what is that? The playlist. So if you're interested, you can check that out, to email her or check out her website.